70 years of power, but what's the story behind it? In a quiet, elegant London neighbourhood, on a damp and chilly spring morning in 1926, a baby girl was born in a 4-storey townhouse on Bruton Street. Her name was Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor. Her father, Prince Albert, the Duke of York, was the second son of King George V, a shy man with a stutter who never dreamed of becoming king himself. Her mother, Elizabeth Bowes Lyon, was a warm-hearted Scottish noblewoman with a natural charm and a smile that lit up every room. At home, they called her Lilibet. From the start, she was calm, serious, and incredibly neat. If her doll fell, she'd pick it up gently and place it back where it belonged, as if, even at 2 years old, she understood order and duty. Her early life was simple by royal standards. Her parents raised her in a quiet home filled with books, discipline, and love. When her younger sister Margaret was born, Lilibet became the little boss. Margaret was lively and dramatic, Elizabeth the careful observer. Together they put on plays, built secret kingdoms in the gardens, and shared the kind of sisterhood only children of the same strange golden world can understand. Then, in 1936, everything changed. Her grandfather died. Her uncle, Edward VIII, became king, but he fell in love with an American divorcee named Wallis Simpson. Choosing love over crown, he abdicated the throne. In an instant, Elizabeth's father, the reluctant Prince Albert, became King George VI, and just like that, 10-year-old Elizabeth became the heir to the British throne. She was tutored at home in history, languages, law, and the British Constitution. Her days grew more structured, her responsibilities heavier. Her father would later say, "Lilibet is my pride. Margaret is my joy." He saw in her a quiet strength, one he himself felt he lacked. Then came the war. As bombs rained over London during World War II, many royal families across Europe fled, but not the Windsors. Elizabeth and Margaret were moved to Windsor Castle for safety. There, at just 14, Elizabeth made her first radio broadcast, speaking directly to other children who had been evacuated from their homes. Her voice was calm, soothing, more like a young mother than a teenager. That moment, small as it seemed, was the beginning of her role as a national figure. By 18, she insisted on serving her country. She joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service, learning how to drive and maintain military trucks. Covered in grease and wearing a uniform, she became the first woman in the royal family to serve in active duty. The image of the young princess in overalls, fixing engines during wartime, forever changed how people saw her. And then there was Philip. She had met Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark when she was just 13. They began exchanging letters, and through the chaos of war, a love story unfolded. He was bold, a bit brash, with piercing blue eyes and a sailor's charm. Some royal advisors opposed the match, his foreign roots, his unpredictable family. But Elizabeth was resolute. She had made her choice. They married in 1947, and their bond lasted more than 70 years. She once said of Philip, "He is my strength and stay." They laughed together, fought in private, stood side by side in every crisis. They were partners in every sense of the word. Soon came children, Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. Elizabeth balanced motherhood with monarchy, a feat she managed with dignity, if not always warmth. Then, in 1952, while on a royal tour in Kenya, she received the call. Her beloved father had died. Her life was no longer her own. At just 25, she became Queen Elizabeth II. The crown, heavy with centuries of history, now rested on her young head. Her reign would span over 7 decades, the longest in British history. She met every US president from Truman to Biden, except LBJ, witnessed the rise and fall of the Soviet Union, the birth of the internet, the transformation of the British Empire, into the Commonwealth. She stayed politically neutral, but always present, always watching. There were scandals, heartbreaks, and moments that shook the nation. The divorce of her son Charles and Princess Diana, the fire at Windsor Castle, the tragic death of Diana in 1997. For the first time, her stoic silence was questioned. The people wanted emotion. And when she finally spoke, plainly, honestly, they listened. Her speech helped to heal a wounded nation. The final years brought more storms. Prince Andrew's disgrace, Prince Harry and Meghan stepping back from royal duties, the painful passing of Prince Philip. Yet through it all, she remained composed, the living embodiment of resilience. In September 2022, in the peaceful highlands of Balmoral Castle in Scotland, Queen Elizabeth II passed away at age 96. The nation and the world paused. Her people queued for miles to say goodbye. Church bells rang across continents. Even in death, she united millions. She had been more than a monarch. She was a mother to her country, a steady hand in a world that changed again and again. Her reign was not about power, but presence. Elizabeth II was, in many ways, the last of her kind, and though the crown now rests on another head, the weight of her memory remains. A woman who wore duty like a second skin, and grace like a crown. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe Heavenly Stories, and hit the bell for more.